More big problems for Pan Am. Today, the airline filed for bankruptcy.
Pan Am went out of business.
To advise you that Pan American Airways has suspended operations. All flights are canceled.
Pan American Airlines stands as a symbol of aviation's golden era, capturing the imagination of travelers. From its humble beginnings in 1927 as a mail carrier to its eventual decline in the 1990s, how did this once great airline lose its luster? Join us as we delve into what really happened to Pan American Airlines.
America, you don't know it yet, but you're going to Europe this summer on Pan Am.
Pan American World Airways, known as Pan Am, began operations on March the 14th of 1927 when Juan Trippe, an ambitious entrepreneur passionate about aviation, established the airline. It started as a mail carrier service with flights between Key West, Florida and Havana, Cuba. This route was vital as it connected the United States to Cuba, allowing quicker mail delivery and setting the stage for future passenger services. Juan Trippe's determination and strategic thinking quickly advanced Pan Am from its simple beginnings. Trippe expanded Pan Am's routes throughout the Americas by securing government contracts and using his network. The airline's early achievements were supported by acquiring advanced aircraft, including flying boats, which were ideal for long flights over water in the Caribbean and Latin America. One notable aspect of Pan Am's early days was the involvement of Charles Lindbergh, the renowned aviator famous for making the first solo non-stop flight across the Atlantic Ocean in 1927.
Paris went collectively nuts for Lindbergh, and the rest of the world quickly followed suit.
Lindbergh significantly contributed to Pan Am's growth by exploring new routes and advising on technical and operational issues. His skills and fame added credibility to the new airline, helping it secure more routes and enhance its reputation. By the end of the 1920s, Pan Am had built a network of 12,000 miles that linked the United States with various countries in Central and South America. This rapid growth showcased Trippe's strategic vision and the airline's innovative approach to aviation. Pan Am's flying boats, known as clippers, became symbols of luxury and adventure, captivating the public's imagination and setting new benchmarks for international air travel. In the early 1930s, Pan Am continued developing new routes and technologies. The airline launched the first scheduled trans-Pacific flights, connecting San Francisco with Manila via Honolulu, Midway Island, Wake Island, and Guam. This achievement represented a significant milestone in aviation history, proving that long-distance international flights were possible and reinforcing Pan Am's position as a leader in global aviation. Pan Am's early success came with its share of challenges. The airline faced competition from other carriers and navigated complex international regulations and political environments. Despite these hurdles, Trippe's leadership and the commitment of Pan Am's staff ensured that the airline kept growing and innovating. By the mid-1930s, Pan Am had become a household name in international air travel, providing passengers with exceptional service and connecting distant regions worldwide. Pan Am's innovative spirit shaped the airline industry, but what groundbreaking changes were on the horizon? How did Juan Trippe and his team revolutionize air travel even further? Let's explore the pioneering innovations defining the next aviation chapter.
Ready to taxi to the runway now, fewer instruments than on propeller-driven craft, and engines that are so much easier to handle and maintain. The magnificent new jet.
Pan American World Airways made important contributions to aviation history, particularly with the development and introduction of the Boeing 707, which marked the start of the jet age. In the late 1950s, Juan Trippe, the airline's founder, saw the potential of jet aircraft to change air travel forever. He worked closely with Boeing to create the 707, the first jetliner to achieve commercial success. The Boeing 707's arrival in 1958 allowed Pan Am to provide faster and more efficient flights, significantly reducing travel times and making international air travel more accessible worldwide.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We are now at cruising altitude, 35,000 feet. Our flying speed is 575 miles per hour.
The Boeing 707 changed everything for the airline industry. With its jet engines, the 707 was faster and had a longer range than the propeller-driven planes that were common at the time. This advancement allowed Pan Am to start the first regular transatlantic jet service connecting New York and Paris in just a few hours. The 707's success strengthened Pan Am's position as a leader in international air travel and set a new standard that other airlines quickly sought to follow. Due to the 707's popularity, many airlines began to adopt jet aircraft and expand their route networks.
Pan Am introduces the incredible, the largest, fastest, most comfortable plane in history, the Boeing 747 Superjet.
Pan Am's pioneering efforts continued with the Boeing 747, developed in the late 1960s through another collaboration with Boeing. As the first airline to operate the 747, Pan Am played a crucial role in shaping this iconic jumbo jet's design and capabilities. The 747 featured a unique hump and a double-deck layout, allowing it to carry more passengers and cargo than any previous aircraft. This innovation transformed long-distance air travel by making it more economical and comfortable for travelers. In addition to advancements in aircraft technology, Pan Am was also a leader in airline operations. In 1964, the airline introduced Panamac, the first computerized reservation system. This groundbreaking technology changed how airlines managed bookings and customer information. Panamac enabled Pan Am to process reservations more effectively, reducing errors and enhancing customer service. The system connected hundreds of agents worldwide, allowing them to access flight information and reservations in real time. The success of Panamac highlighted Pan Am's commitment to using technology to improve its operations and customer experience. Implementing this system marked a significant leap toward the digitalization of the airline industry, laying the foundation for the advanced reservation and ticketing systems in use today. Pan Am's groundbreaking innovation set the stage for a new era in air travel. But how did this transform the airline's image and influence popular culture? What marked the golden age of Pan Am, and how did it captivate the world? Let's explore.
If they flew Pan Am's Clipper class, for a little extra money they'd have room to work and room to think. Pan Am's always understood the business traveler.
In the 1950s and 60s, Pan American World Airways was at its peak, representing luxury and glamour in air travel. This time is remembered as the golden age of Pan Am, characterized by the airline's distinctive blue and white colors and the elegant Clipper branding. These features became symbols of sophistication and high-class service. Pan Am's extensive network connected cities across 6 continents, making it a leader in international air travel and representing the glamorous jet-set lifestyle. The iconic blue and white colors of Pan Am were more than just a design. They stood for a brand that people recognized worldwide. The Blue Globe logo, affectionately called the Blue Meatball, was proudly displayed on the tails of the airline's aircraft, symbolizing its global reach and ambitions. The Clipper name, inspired by the fast Clipper ships of the 19th century, was used for the airline's planes and became an important part of its identity. Each aircraft was named Clipper and was followed by a unique name like Clipper America or Clipper Constitution, which brought a sense of adventure and exploration to air travel. The airline's global route network was unmatched, linking major cities across 6 continents. Pan Am was the first airline to provide regular scheduled flights across the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, making international travel easier and more convenient. The introduction of the Boeing 707 in 1958 and the Boeing 747 in 1970 significantly changed air travel, allowing Pan Am to carry more passengers over longer distances with greater comfort and efficiency. The World Port Terminal at John F. Kennedy International Airport in New York City served as Pan Am's main hub, showcasing the airline's modernity and innovation. During this time, Pan Am became a symbol of the jet-set lifestyle, attracting celebrities, dignitaries, and wealthy travelers. The airline offered luxurious services, including gourmet meals, spacious seating, and attentive cabin crew, all designed to ensure an exceptional travel experience. The flight attendants wore stylish uniforms and embodied elegance and professionalism. Pan Am's reputation for excellence made it the top choice for many high-profile passengers, including Hollywood stars, politicians, and royalty. Pan Am's influence reached beyond the aviation industry, leaving a lasting mark on popular culture. The airline appeared in numerous films, television shows, and advertisements, establishing its status as a cultural icon. Pan Am's golden age defined luxury and air travel, but what challenges loomed on the horizon? With rising fuel costs and fierce competition, could this iconic airline adapt to the changing skies? Let's explore the factors leading to its dramatic decline.
A strike has all but shut down the nation's third largest airline, Pan American. Today, 7,500 Pan Am workers, including baggage handlers and mechanics, walked off the job.
In the 1970s, Pan American World Airways faced major problems that eventually led to its downfall. One of the biggest problems was the 1973 oil crisis, which caused fuel prices to rise sharply. This sudden cost jump hit Pan Am hard because the airline focused on long-haul international flights requiring much fuel. The increased fuel expenses significantly reduced the airline's profits, making maintaining its extensive global network tough. Another important factor was the growing competition from other airlines. During the 70s, many new carriers entered the market, offering better prices and services. Pan Am, a leader in international air travel for many years, struggled to keep up with these newer, more flexible airlines. The situation became even more challenging with the airline industry's deregulation in 1978. The Airline Deregulation Act removed government control over ticket prices, flight routes, and the entry of new airlines, leading to a more competitive and unpredictable market. Pan Am needed help adapting to this new environment since it was used to operating under strict regulations. Financial mismanagement and poor decision-making also significantly contributed to Pan Am's decline. One of the most notable mistakes was the purchase of National Airlines in 1980. Pan Am acquired National Airlines for $437 million, thinking it would strengthen its position in the domestic market. Unfortunately, this acquisition turned out to be a costly error. National Airlines operated differently and had a separate fleet, which created integration issues and raised operational costs. This purchase drained Pan Am's financial resources and failed to provide the expected advantages, further damaging the airline's economic stability. The combination of these issues led to a drop in Pan Am's profits and market share. The airline's financial struggles worsened due to a series of unfortunate events, including the tragic bombing of Pan Am Flight 103 over Lockerbie, Scotland in 1988.
Pan Am's Flight 103 had been in the air for an hour. The 747 was en route from London to New York and then Detroit.
This disaster not only resulted in a significant loss of life, but also severely harmed Pan Am's reputation. It led to expensive legal battles and compensation claims, further complicating the airline's situation. By the late 80s, Pan Am was in a very difficult financial state. The airline tried restructuring efforts, including selling off assets and routes, but these actions did not turn things around. In 1991, after years of increasing losses and unsuccessful recovery attempts, Pan Am filed for bankruptcy and stopped operations.
Unfortunately, we simply did not have the financial strength to absorb the enormously adverse impact of these external events.
The airline, which had once been a pioneer in international air travel and a symbol of luxury and glamour, was no longer in operation. The decline of Pan Am represented not just the end of a significant player in aviation, but also a shift in the airline industry itself, which had become more competitive and less predictable. By the late 80s, Pan Am faced insurmountable challenges, leading to its bankruptcy. How did a tragic event like the Lockerbie disaster change the course of this once great airline? Let's explore the impact of this heartbreaking moment in aviation history.
Pan Am Flight 103 from London's Heathrow to New York's Kennedy Airport was at 31,000 feet tonight when air traffic controllers suddenly lost contact.
The Lockerbie disaster was one of the most tragic events in Pan American World Airways history. On December the 21st of 1988, Pan Am Flight 103, a Boeing 747 known as Clipper Made of the Seas, was flying from London to New York when it exploded over the small town of Lockerbie, Scotland. The explosion happened because a bomb hidden inside a cassette player was placed in the cargo hold. The blast killed all 259 passengers and crew members on board, as well as 11 people in Lockerbie, bringing the total number of deaths to 270. This disaster resulted in a terrible loss of life and had serious consequences for Pan Am. In the days following the bombing, a massive investigation took place that involved many international agencies. The investigation found that Libyan terrorists had planted the bomb, which created a complex political situation. Public opinion of Pan Am dropped sharply as the airline faced criticism for its security failures that allowed the bomb to be smuggled onto the aircraft. The financial impact on Pan Am was devastating. The airline faced numerous lawsuits from the victims' families, leading to high legal costs and compensation payments. Additionally, the disaster caused a significant drop in passenger numbers as travelers lost trust in the airline's safety. This loss of income occurred when Pan Am was already having financial trouble due to rising competition and increasing operational costs. The Lockerbie bombing sped up Pan Am's financial decline. Throughout the 80s, the airline struggled with economic challenges, and the disaster worsened those problems.
Combined with the residual effects of the terrorist attack on our Flight 103 in December of 1988, have taken a heavy toll on our cash flow.
The negative media attention and financial responsibilities from the bombing made it harder for Pan Am to compete in the already tough airline industry. The company tried to restructure and cut costs, but these efforts could not make up for the losses caused by the disaster. In the years that followed the Lockerbie bombing, Pan Am's financial situation continued to worsen. The airline had to sell off valuable assets, including its famous Pan Am building in New York and its profitable routes to London. Despite these actions, Pan Am could not recover from the financial and reputational damage caused by the Lockerbie disaster. In the wake of the bombing, stricter security measures were implemented across the industry, changing how passengers and luggage were screened. This new focus on safety reflected the tragedy's lasting impact on air travel. As passenger numbers continued to decline, the company could not sustain its operations. The financial burden from lawsuits and customer losses made it increasingly difficult for the airline to continue its services. The Lockerbie disaster not only marked a tragic loss of life, but also triggered a series of events that led to Pan Am's decline. How did the airline attempt to recover from such devastation? Let's explore the final days of this once great airline.
Pan American Airlines shut down after more than 6 decades of service.
We are very sorry to advise you that Pan American Airways has suspended operations. All flights are canceled.
By the late 1980s, the airline, a symbol of American aviation strength, struggled to survive amid increasing debts and stiff competition from other carriers. Pan Am took several drastic actions to avoid bankruptcy, including selling important assets. One of Pan Am's first major decisions was selling its Asian routes to United Airlines in 1985. This decision significantly impacted Pan Am's global network, as these routes had been among its most profitable. The airline needed to raise immediate cash to cover operating costs and reduce its debt. Although this sale generated some much-needed funds, it also weakened Pan Am's position in the international market, making it harder to compete with rivals. In 1981, Pan Am sold its famous Pan Am building in New York City to MetLife for $400 million. This landmark building represented the airline's success and status in the industry. Selling such a significant asset highlighted the depth of the airline's financial troubles. Although the money from this sale provided temporary relief, it did not solve the airline's fundamental issues.
We simply didn't have the financial strength in reserve to absorb the adverse economic impacts of these external events.
Despite these asset sales, Pan Am continued to encounter challenges. The airline attempted to restructure and rebrand itself, hoping to attract more customers and improve its financial situation. In 1987, Pan Am acquired National Airlines to expand its domestic network and compete more effectively with other major airlines. This acquisition, however, became a costly misstep. Integrating national airlines was filled with operational problems and needed to produce the financial benefits Pan Am had anticipated. The tragic Lockerbie disaster in 1988 added to Pan Am's difficulties. The bombing of Pan Am Flight 103 over Lockerbie, Scotland, resulted not only in the heartbreaking loss of lives, but also severely damaged the airline's reputation.
Most accidents happen on takeoff or landing, and this one happened at 31,000 feet, near cruising altitude. That makes it very unusual.
The following lawsuits and compensation claims increased Pan Am's financial burdens, making it even more challenging for the airline to recover. In a desperate attempt to stay afloat, Pan Am sold its remaining European routes and its flagship Pan Am Worldport terminal at John F. Kennedy International Airport to Delta Airlines in 1991. This sale marked the end of Pan Am's presence in the transatlantic market, a vital part of its operations. Despite these efforts, the airline's financial situation declined, leading to an inevitable conclusion.
Recently, it had made a deal with Delta, and some thought Pan Am could survive. But after putting up $115 million, Delta said it would invest no more, and Pan Am stopped flying.
On January the 8th of 1991, Pan Am filed for bankruptcy protection. The airline's financial issues had become overwhelming, and it could no longer maintain its operations.
Well, the situation in the Persian Gulf may have pushed Pan American over the edge. The airline has filed for bankruptcy today, blaming, among other things, the rising cost of jet fuel.
By December of 1991, Pan Am ceased all flights, signaling the end of an era in aviation history. The airline's remaining assets were sold, leaving its employees to seek new jobs in a rapidly evolving industry. Pan Am's struggles led to its eventual downfall, but how did this iconic airline leave a lasting mark on air travel? What legacies did it create that still resonate today? Let's explore Pan Am's cultural impact and significance in aviation history.
In 1935, only one airline, Pan Am, stood poised on the edge of America, ready to challenge the Pacific.
Pan American World Airways was not just an airline. It represented a significant part of air travel history and culture during its time. Although it stopped operating in 1991, the impact of Pan Am still resonates in popular culture and the airline industry today. The airline played a crucial role in shaping the image of air travel, embodying the glamour and excitement of the golden age of flying. Pan Am's influence on popular culture was significant. The airline appeared in many films and television shows, often symbolizing the elegance of early air travel. One of its most memorable appearances was in the 1968 science fiction classic 2001: A Space Odyssey, which showcased a futuristic Pan Am space clipper spacecraft orbiting Earth. This representation helped establish Pan Am as a forward-thinking airline known for its innovation. Additionally, the airline inspired the 2011 television series Pan Am. Set in the 1960s, the show captured the sense of adventure and style that characterized flying, portraying the airline as a hallmark of sophistication.
Clear for 1-3, Clipper 2-2. At this airspeed with that crosswind, you're going to land in the water. Plan on maintaining this airspeed. We're at our crosswind.
The Pan Am brand became synonymous with luxury and class. Its iconic blue globe logo, playfully called the Blue Meatball, and the use of the term Clipper in the names of its aircraft and call signs remained recognizable worldwide. The airline's unique branding and marketing techniques left a lasting impression, making Pan Am a benchmark for high-quality service and trustworthiness. This strong brand identity continued influencing contemporary airlines that sought to emulate Pan Am's success in creating a memorable and reliable image.
Look at the stars.
Come on, George. Go to sleep.
I can't. I'm too excited.
You can't beat the experience.
Pan Am also made groundbreaking contributions to the airline industry. The airline led the way in various areas, such as introducing jumbo jets and pioneering computerized reservation systems. In 1961, Pan Am partnered with IBM to develop Panamac, an advanced reservation system that changed the industry's landscape. This innovative system enhanced operational efficiency and set a new standard for airline management. The advancements initiated by Pan Am became essential parts of the airline industry's framework, influencing how airlines operate today. Pan Am's cultural significance went beyond its technological innovations. The airline epitomized the luxury and excitement of international travel, transforming flying into a special experience rather than just a method of transportation. Pan Am prioritized passenger comfort and service excellence, raising the industry standards. The airline's careful attention to detail and commitment to providing superior amenities surpassed basic needs, creating a travel experience that combined efficiency.